All right, Andy, here we are, day 2 at the combine. What are your thoughts so far? I saw you were pretty into it yesterday.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite events to come recruit at for a couple reasons. One, it's in our marketplace. Even though we recruit nationally, we want to make sure that we've got a strong presence in the Southeast. And I don't think that there's an area in the country that's experiencing more growth in wrestling right now than kind of this circle that we're sitting in. The other thing I love about it is that we just walked back from a skills test. It was a mile run. And I think as a recruiter, there may not be a better way to test the character and the grit of a wrestler than to see how hard he pushes himself in a mile run. And then, you get to see some live wrestling, which is great too. I like the fact that it's not in a super competitive setting, so when I get to see how a kid reacts when he gets taken down or he gets scored on. What's his response when he hits a little bit of adversity? So, yeah, this is one of my all-time favorites. I think Cliff and his crew do an amazing job.
Nice. So you've been to this in the past?
I have. So I started at Davidson in May of 2017. I came my first year there. Last year, Joey Dance came down, and then I wanted to come back this year. So
nice. What is it about Cliff and this crew that it seems like they're just doing something kind of special in wrestling, especially for this area?
They're innovative, right? They're so creative. They're outside of the box. I think they take the great seeds of wrestling, but then they don't fall victims to the philosophy of this is the way we do things in wrestling. They're constantly carving out a new path, and I have a serious appreciation for that.
Nice. So you're in the skills. I was curious about that. The pull-ups, the rope climbs, the mile run, that's all stuff that you'll use as a gauge?
I watch that very closely. That's this right here. And as a coach, that's probably the hardest thing to change in a person, right? You can improve their technique pretty easily. You can improve their skill sets on the mat. But when it comes to how hard they're willing to push themselves, that can be a really tough thing to change in an 18 to 22-year-old that's already kind of programmed throughout most of his life.
Gotcha. So clearly, you want great wrestlers, and then this is another thing. What are some other ideas that or things that you like to see from wrestlers that you're interested in bringing out to Davidson?
Well, a lot of people ask me all the time, like, what's my recruiting philosophy? What do I look for? And for me personally, it's all about compatibility. I can't coach someone really well if we don't connect really well together. And so, it's the opportunity to spend some time just having a little bit of dialogue with kids. I've been around this age category of kids now for, 22 years. So I know really quickly whether or not I think we have similar thought processes. And so first impressions are really, really important.
Nice. So you brought up Joey Dance. Joey's a guy, whenever I started covering wrestling, I think he's like in 8th grade or so, but seemed to be at every tournament, and one of my all-time favorite guys to watch. What's he like as a coach? How's he developing as a coach?
Well, first of all, he's an incredible human being. Our relationship has grown tremendously over the course of the past year, and that's from man to man. And I think that relationship has helped our coaching relationship tremendously. He is one of the few people that's been able to ever match my passion for the sport of wrestling. He loves it as much as anyone I've ever been around, and his energy is magnetic. And he's just a phenomenal person on and off the mat, and he's been a great addition for us, and he's helped out in so many ways for such a young guy. I mean, he's only been out of college for 2 years. When I was his age, I was still a baby. He's so mature. And he makes wrestling a lot of fun to be around, and he's a great recruiter. And then to add to that, we just hired Chad Walsh as well. So Chad starts on July 1st.
Boys.
And there's another guy that I think fits really well into kind of our framework of personalities. I think the three of us are going to make a pretty powerful team.
Jersey's finest. And those guys were so fun to watch.
Oh my gosh, they'll throw the kitchen sink, everything but the kitchen sink at you.
So you're heading into season 3 coming up?
Correct, yeah.
So what are you excited about, and where are you like, need to strengthen up here?
So I recently told someone that I've never been more excited in my journey with wrestling than I am right now. Our farm at Davidson is completely built. So what it's all about now is recruiting. It's bringing the right horses into our farm so that we can develop them and then let them go produce. you know, in the past 2 years at Davidson, there's a couple really powerful things that have happened. One is we've raised $1 million for new scholarships.
Sweet.
So that changes the game.
Yeah,
right. It changes
absolutely.
the game. We hired Joey Dance. You know, when you're Joey and you decide that you're going to go into coaching, you have a lot of opportunities, right? And the fact that he chose Davidson, I think, really validates the vision for the program. And then the addition of Chad Walsh that I just mentioned, we did not have a second full-time assistant coaching position, so we built out that position, and now that we've taken care of that, we feel like we're totally ready, and it's all about now recruiting. So we think the class of 2020 is going to be the one that's really going to springboard Davidson wrestling to our next level.
Awesome. You having fun?
Oh man, it's the best. So grateful.
What do you think of, we got half our world team, or getting close to half our world. What do you think of the Final X yesterday?
Yeah, it was interesting. You know, I grabbed some dinner to go, and I just wanted to kind of park myself in my hotel room and watch it on the iPad. And a couple matches went the way I expected. A couple did not. I thought Yanni and Zane was pretty controversial at the end. Wasn't a huge fan of that call, and I think that's a shame because under such major circumstances, the officials need to get that right.
Yeah. Why wrestling? Why you graduated in 2000? College?
01, yeah, 01, yeah,
and,
my 5th year.
yeah, you're still here.
Yeah, I don't think there's a better sport for the development of a young man. You know, wrestling has given more to me than I could have ever asked, and I just want to try and be a guy that gives back to it as much as I can. I think my mark in wrestling, hopefully when I'm done, is that I've been a guy that's hopefully saved and rebuilt multiple programs, you know, having been at, I started a Division III program, and then I was at Princeton in its roughest years, and then Sacred Heart in its roughest years, and went to Davidson in some challenging times.
Yeah.
So I hope my impact is one that, you know, I'm really helping to maintain and preserve college wrestling.
Nice. I'd like to get out sometime and check it out.
Absolutely. I'd love to have you over.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
You got anything else to share?
No, thank you for covering and for all the great work. I think it's great for the kids to have this type of exposure.